So today we're going to do another paint it yourself project. We are going to do a wash and we're going to do a raised stencil using the PIY paint chalk powder. So today, not only can you paint it yourself, you can also make it yourself. We just go and buy, in Canada we have, we call it bug kill wood. It's wood that has, the bugs have killed, so they've had to cut it down. And you'll see on the back, you can see it's got some beautiful colors and that, so it's perfect for what we do. We also use seconds so that it's a lot more economical, so you can see that it's cut out and everything, which is perfect. So you not only can paint it yourself, you can also make it yourself. So I'm going to start off by doing a wash, and a wash is using any of the PIY paints and adding water to them. So you can make it as dark as you want or as light as you want. So what I'm doing is, of course, I have my angle brush, which is my go-to favorite. I use a lot of the peacock. It's called peacock feather. I use a lot of the peacock color, so that's why I've chosen to use this one today, but you can use any color you want. So I am going to pour the paint into the bowl. And I don't know if you're like me, but I tend to get paint all over everything. And which my sister's supposed to be mentioning, you can see that through our demos that I am doing a lot of the projects right in my dining room, which is, you don't need a huge shop to do paint projects. Even if I'm doing furniture, I'll move them out here, put a drop cloth or a sheet underneath them, paint them, and then put them back. You don't need a large shop to paint it yourself.
And you should also mention that because there's no smell.
No, there is no smell, Cindy. No. Good point. There's no smell.
So you can do it right in your house.
You can do it right in your house, which we do, right in our kitchen. So you can see I'm adding some paint into a bowl, and I'm going to add my water into my paint. You can also do it by adding, sometimes I'll just put my paint into the bowl, and then I'll have a separate bowl, I'll dip into the water, then into the paint. Putting a wash on is super simple. If you put on too much, you're going to wipe it off. If you put on not enough, you're going to put on more on. So I am just going to do this. And once again, as you're painting it yourself, it doesn't need to be perfect. You just want to paint. Painting is fun. I find there you get a little bristle out of my brush. I just fling it. Kind of like those Tide things. Tide flings, right? So I'm just going to show you something here right now. Putting it on.
Do your edges.
Yeah, I'll do my edges in 2 seconds. Well, maybe I'll do my edges now, because my sister. Okay, so now let's put the brush down, and now I'm going to show you a couple different ways of doing a wash. So see how beautiful that brings that wood grain out? So you can see how when I started it was nice and dark. Now I'm doing this. I can even take it down more if I want to, or if I wanted, I could add more water. And then on top of this, see, there's nothing to it. Paint it yourself, nothing. Look at the beautiful grains of wood coming out in that. I love working with this wood. And that's what's great about these little just paint it yourself projects. You can do them. This project will be done, dry, ready to hang up on a wall in just a couple hours. Again, just using my little angle brush, which is my favorite. It's just a very economical brush.
Where can you get those?
You can get these brushes from the PIY retailers. You can get them online through our website. And this is no speed up of cameras or anything. So now let's just say that this was actually, you know, like a tabletop or something. It's just, and it dries almost instantly because we have such a small amount of paint on it.
What color is that?
This is peacock feather, but you can do it in any color you want. I just like this color because I have a lot of this in my home. And this is sort of my Christmas tree theme. So that basically is done. So if you just wait 1 second, I'm gonna go check and see if my other one is ready. Hold on. And here she comes back. You know, this always reminds me of kind of like the cooking shows when they go to the oven and so I'm just sort of deciding if I want to do my transfer on that one. This one's just a little bit darker. I don't know, my producer might won't cut a lot of this. I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm going to put the stencil on. Baby, it's cold outside. And I'm gonna mix up the powder and then I'll explain what I'm going to do. So I am going to use a silver metallic in with the PIY powder. And I'm going to put it in the bowl. So normally I put my paint in first, about as much paint as I think I will need. And that's how easy you just put it back in there. And then here's my powder. Where is my It's just like Christmas baking. And as you can see, putting it in, I find it's almost like cornstarch almost. It disappears like almost instantly. Cindy, check in that end drawer right there. Here, that little end drawer. Yeah. I don't know, when you're at home painting it yourself, you have, so with the PIY paint chalk powder, you can doing the recipe on the website, you will get the exact PIY paint consistency. But if you want it thicker, so now if I was painting, say, a mason jar, I would, that is like unreal fabulous. If I was painting a mason jar, I would use it like this. I'm gonna do it in one coat. It thickens it up a lot, so most of the time you can do it in one coat. But I want to make it thicker because I'm gonna do something that's just, you're just gonna love. So, and the reason that, man, you know what? That's how I cook at home too. My husband gets so mad because I get stuff everywhere. And see, now I've made it a little bit too thick. Now, if I was going to use it to fill holes or cracks, this is the consistency, but I've made it a little too thick today. And actually I did that on purpose, you know, Cindy, I did it on purpose.
Well, did you? Why?
Because I'm showing them if you made it too thick, we're just gonna add a little bit more paint and we're gonna get the exact consistency that we want. So now we've got it super smooth. So I am going to, now I don't want to put that on my table. I'm going to,
You're like the mad scientist over there.
I am, I'm like the mad scientist. So now when I'm placing my stencils and that, most of the time I don't try and place them exactly straight. Because what happens, what I find is that when I try and place them exactly straight, they don't turn out straight and then they're crooked for a reason, right? So I just try and find something where I can line it up and then I probably will put something up here or whatever. So I just sort of figure out where I would line that up I lay my stencil down, and I'm going to do it upside down here. And then I take, so it's like an icing, right? And I go over my stencil. Now I want to hold my stencil down because I do not want my icing going underneath the stencil. And so you're going to make your icing as thick on there as you want. How heavy you want it up. Like I'm kind of like Cindy the Martha Stewart or the Rachel Ray of painting.
Oh, yes.
Because this is what they do in the kitchen, right?
Yes.
You just move your stuff around. It's just totally just like icing.
Can I put that on glass too, Laurie?
Yeah, you could put it on glass. You want to seal it, and like it can't go in the dishwasher or anything. So I want to make sure that all areas are covered, which they are. So you can see it's all covered. Now I am going to take both corners and I'm going to lift it up. I don't really want to throw that on the...
So, oh, that looks beautiful.
So I would probably wait till this dries, and then I will put a liquid sealer over top of it, and then I will put some embellishments on it and set it outside. So the raised stencil we will show you in upcoming videos as well. The raised stencil can be used on dressers, any stencils that are, you can get the raised stencil technique using the PIY paint chalk powder. So there's a perfect example of how you can paint it yourself.